Americans may soon have trouble finding some of their favorite foods and popular products.
A major port strike could start at midnight tonight, potentially disrupting the supply chain. Joining us to discuss is Oakland University professor Henry Aigbedo. Thank you for joining us, Professor.
Thank you.
So we're talking about dozens of ports, potentially a few dozen. How big of an impact could this have?
Yeah, it could have a very major impact depending on how long it lasts. For example, a lot of the food that we have on our shelves, if it lasts too long, then those will run out very soon, and then prices could go up.
And if we see this last into much longer than what we're anticipating, what kind of effect could that have on consumers?
It will have significant impact because we're going to have shortages. If you remember during COVID-19, when we had the difficulty getting items from abroad, our shelves were empty. Now, if it lasts very long, then we might begin to experience those things. Shelves will be empty, and then that's going to put upward pressure on prices.
Yeah, you said we might see that impact very soon. Can you give us an idea of how long it takes goods that are shipped through these ports to actually arrive at your doorstep or at a store where you might buy them?
Yeah, it would depend on the good. In some cases, it might take up to, 3 days. But most of the companies, most of the retailers, for example, have been anticipating this, so they have inventory of items in stock because they were anticipating that this was going to happen. So if it lasts only a few days, consumers will not feel the impact because they can use the items that they already have in stock. But if it goes beyond, say, 1 week, then we'll begin to feel the impact.
I don't think a lot of people realize how many things, parts, foods, goods that we get in from those ports. What sorts of things are we talking about?
Things like a lot of household items, even things like, bananas, things like toilet paper, things like, plastics that are used for manufacturing. So initially, the impact is going to be on consumer goods that we have on the shelves. But if it prolongs for a very long time, it's going to affect production as well, especially given that we in Michigan, we manufacture cars and we use a lot of parts. Those things are not going to come in, and then it's going to affect production here in Michigan.
So it kind of runs the gamut. Can you give us an idea of what are the sticking points between the Union and the U.S. Maritime Alliance? And is there any reason to predict how long this might last?
Now, the major thing has to do with disagreements about the terms of the contract between the two parties. The main issue here has to do with their wages. On the one hand, the Longshoreman Association group, the workers, they believe that they are not being given, they are not being paid well. And on the other hand, the maritime organization, the people who manage the ports, are not agreeing to their demands. Another issue that has come up has to do with automating the processes that they use at the ports for offloading containers. They want the association to terminate those plans to automate the processes. But the main issue has to do with wages.
All right, Professor Henry Aigbedo, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.